Hello, LinkedIn. This is Kevin Turner with TNT Brand Strategist. Wanted to talk to you a little bit today about how does a recruiter on LinkedIn using Talent Solutions recruiter tool actually see things from their side. So LinkedIn is the world's largest database of basically resumes. That's what a member's profile is. There's almost 1 billion of them out there, and we're going to look at how do they make sense of those from the other side. So that's really what we're going to look at today. First step, when you are a recruiter and you've logged in, is you want to actually set up a project. So that means basically I'm going to look for something or someone to fulfill things. And right now I've typed in Sales Manager SF for San Francisco. You can create a project description. So anybody else viewing that on your team could then know what this is about. As we scoot down, you've got the ability to enter a title. Titles, you always want to choose from the drop-down box, much like when you're building your profile, because these are titles that are currently in the filter set. Same thing with locations. If you use what's in the drop-down when you get into these things, you're always going to be easier to be found because you're within the filters. So that's the best way to choose that. From there, you can make the choice of making it private or public. And off to the right-hand side, you'll see kind of a custom talent insight. And what that's doing is as you're putting parameters in here, it's going to tell you from your collective network what's already pulling up. What do you have access to? Who might fit what you are doing? So each time you make an adjustment, those numbers are going to adjust as well. So that's what that is. So again, we can set a seniority level. And you notice when we set the seniority level on the right-hand side, the insights, fewer people met that requirement. So we can reset that level, or just know that we might have to do a little more searching to find that right individual. Now, if I go to public, that means basically anybody within my talent pool, the people who are my recruiters, they could then see that. They can see everything I'm setting up. If I leave it private, it's really only for me in my process. So now the next step is we want to post the actual job itself. So we're going to go through there. Some of this is already pre-populated in our project. So that's what we're going to kind of look at here. As we move down on this page, you'll see different categories. One of them that we don't see on our profiles is job function. And so job function is kind of an overall arching area for, where we might fit in, like marketing or sales or accounting. So you can go in there, you can eliminate them. What they'll always start with is what LinkedIn sees by the choices you've already made. So before it had sales and another component, you could take that component out. In the industry area, we had internet, but I also wanted to actually enter in computer software. So you can click an X, it'll take it away. You can click the other X and you can add to it. So it's nice. Now, this is kind of just some template for a job description is in there. What you'll also notice at the bottom is the skills. Now, what LinkedIn will do is it will actually look at the job, and it will, based on AI, it's going to assign 10 skills. If you like them, you can accept them, right? Those 10 skills are the ones that you see when you apply to a job, and it's measuring against these. So these are really, in no better sense, these are the filters, right? So you can go in there, you can adjust them the same way, you can add them. You always want to take from the drop-down box. Again, you're inside the filtering that way. As we scoot down here, we can make a option, basically let candidates apply with their LinkedIn profile and add a resume. And we can put the email that should be sent to. They don't see that, only we see that. And you can require the resume, or you can just go with the profile. So if you click that box, it's going to give the resume. Direct applicants to an external site. If you want them not to apply through LinkedIn or on LinkedIn, but actually at your company site, you can do that. is really assigning it to your overall project. So we already set one up earlier, sales manager in San Francisco, so we're going to assign it to that. Now, it's going to give you a preview. You can kind of scroll through that preview, make sure everything's there, and it makes sense. So once you're sure with that, we can kind of move on to the next step. But this is just kind of a way to make sure you've got everything in the right order. Now, what you notice is in here is we've got some questions we can ask that may determine whether somebody should or should not apply, should or should not move forward. And so that's kind of our next step. Those are kind of screening questions, and there's those things that they'll ask, and you have to answer to be able to apply. So a couple of them that are already kind of pre-populated in here because they're recommended. Bachelor's degree, you can make that a must-have by clicking that box, or you can leave it where it's suggested or preferred, is how that comes across. Years of work experience is another one, so you can set that up. You can actually do the types of work experience that you need. Now below, you'll actually see at some additional questions. You can either click on those, and it's going to bring those up, or you can create a custom question. So custom questions give you a little more flexibility, but they're also harder to compare against other jobs. So most people don't do the custom. The qualification setting, if somebody doesn't meet these, if they don't have that bachelor's degree that you require, you can auto-generate a email that goes out to them and says, because you don't have the bachelor's, we can't move forward, something to that effect, usually a little more polite than that. Now here's the next piece is I can add to the profile. If I wanted to have my little profile picture there, right, my me icon, and a little bit of information, my name, you could see who posted that job. A lot of people will do that because they're very open as recruiters, but some people won't, and it'll just say, by a recruiter within the company. So you can do LinkedIn assessments if you're asking for particular skill sets, which are nice. They're kind of more proof than just saying you have it. You have to pass the test. This is something new that LinkedIn is doing, is it's actually putting salary ranges based on its AI, and it gives you the option of accepting them or putting in your own. So what's nice about that is you'll see more jobs now will actually have that on the job itself. It'll give you the ranges. That's very new. That's something LinkedIn is pushing. I think it's fantastic. So hopefully you appreciate seeing really what a recruiter sees from the other side, because it makes a lot of sense as we build our profiles and as we build our applications. I appreciate your time. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, share, make sure everybody knows about it, and would love to hear your comments. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.